backed and just lifted my legs like he's gonna bite me, and he just lifted me out of the water. I remember rolling down his back. Welcome back to Spearfishing Down Under. I got one of my best mates, Bryson, here, and we're gonna talk through sharks together. Bryson and I done lots of diving together, won the Australian titles together a couple of years ago, and we're gonna talk around shark behavior, diving with sharks, and tell a couple of stories about some of our crazy incidents with sharks. Now, this first clip, this shark, what's your first response when you see this?
Oh, he's pretty cruisy. You're just going to give him a, well, didn't even get to give him a knock on the head.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
Yeah.
His peg fins are down, which is 99% of the time anyway, so you don't even notice that.
Yeah, it's pretty cruisy, sort of shark that you're not necessarily so worried about diving with. But you're gonna be the apex in this situation. You're gonna be the one that
you try to be.
Now this next one, down on the bottom, and it's actually a really beautiful whale that comes cruising in. And this is probably something that we see a lot when you're diving those areas and you're laying on the bottom. Sharks swimming above your head is something that you experience a lot. I know you're looking at the aquarium fish.
Oh, that's all right. No, I can appreciate where you are on the bottom here.
Nice turtle. And in they come above your head.
Yeah, so he's not a big deal. Like, even if you're swimming back up, he's pretty much going to move to the side as you come back up. Once again, pec fins are down, but like I said, no, I never noticed that.
Now, for me, when I see that, it's like the more aggressive I get to it, the less likely it's going to be back next time I shoot a fish.
There's probably 2 or 3 fish in that before that shark starts trying to eat your
Now, this is one that probably is a picture of how we do a lot of our diving. We get to the bottom and straight away there's 2, 3, 4 sharks on the bottom when we get there. Again, when you look at these, what are you thinking?
They're active on the bottom. Sometimes, like, you can see them and there's a couple, 5, 6 meters off the bottom. They're gonna be a problem as soon as you shoot something because they're lurking with intent to eat.
Now, this is something that I've discovered, the actual active pushing away of a shark. I find if you're gonna shoot a fish, number one, you've got to boss it and do your best to push it away. By the way, this clip was taken in Queensland and I was eradicating invasive species into our state. This is the blue groper. That situation, the apex predator is, I'm gonna poke you, I'm gonna push you, I'm aggressive towards him. He was coming, what's going on over here? I'm coming with aggressive.
It was interesting watching that bull, how his head kind of curled and just like folded when you hit him. But you hit a lot of sharks. Like, I'm surprised how close you get to sharks. I don't generally get the chance.
You're a fatty, mate. This one's actually you, Bri, this clip that we're about to look at. And it probably shows that being aggressive is not always possible because, sometimes...
Wasn't even aware.
Sometimes we're just there, we're on the bottom. You see the shark there on the way down.
He's doing nothing.
He's doing nothing. And you're just focused on the fish. We've dove this area a couple of times before. There's going to be jobfish. There's most likely going to be a mangrove jack or a pearly or a big Venus. I think you shot a really big Venus here a few years earlier. Talk me through what goes through your head right at this moment when, boom, that happens to you.
It's like, well, there's nothing I could do about that. That shark could have been a couple of meters closer and just bitten me. No problems at all. Now, obviously, I'm aware that he's feeling like that.
He's a little bit hungry.
And I'm like, oh, I can see some fish in the distance there. And as you can see, I'm still looking around. I'm probably a little bit shaken from that.
Still focused on the target.
Still focused on the fish.
And listen, this is important. This is important. If you're going to hunt amongst sharks like this, you got to stay focused.
And obviously, I want those jacks. And then I pick a bigger one.
And what's the win? Stoning it. You've just halved your chance of that shark coming back and eating your fish.
Yeah, it's not very often I eat a stoned fish.
Not very often. It's not very often you stone a fish as well, guys.
It's not very often. But if it's a dogtooth or a wahoo, they seem to, or a tuna, any tuna, they seem to wiggle at the right frequency that it's going to get eaten if you stone it.
Now, this one is me in West Australia, diving with Hal and Mitch as well. Very common occurrence in WA. Hal shot a jobfish on the bottom. and bring it to the surface, and it's getting annihilated.
Brought everything up with.
Every time I start to watch this bit in a minute where those sharks are on the surface flogging this jobfish, it reminds me of a story that we're going to talk about in a moment, where you and I probably had one of the craziest, terrible experiences. But this bit right here where the sharks are coming out of the water, thrashing.
Just a lot of bubbles.
A lot of bubbles, a lot of nasty. Hal's not overly used to this happening. And you see in a second, he was not really impressed with it.
I was scared. Welcome to West Australia.
I don't know if we're going to land one here, eh? What's your thoughts on that?
Nah, what we should do is get some charm out.
That reminds me of this day. It was quite a while back, actually. I shot this pennant. You were sitting in the boat when I shot this pennant because you were done for the day.
Oh yeah.
You were scared of sharks, Bryson.
It was after the incident that we're going to talk about, and I was like, if I see another shark at this next spot, I'm out. And then jumped in, first thing a shark's not just said, this, I'm out.
This moment right here is before we're about to go home, but this is the two fish that we shot. Let me just set the scene. Obviously, you and I remember this. We anchored. We had G, Gareth was diving with us. He was sleeping in the boat, so we dropped the pick. We actually put a marker buoy down.
Because we were suspecting that the boat wouldn't set.
That's exactly right spot. So, yeah, because dropping anchor on sand on a rock, and you and I swim over to the marker buoy. I did a dive. I think, no, you dove first, and you shot a big spangled emperor.
Yeah, shot a big spangled.
And when we brought that up, and you're like, the boat's over, I'll clip it off to the marker buoy.
Yeah.
Which probably back then we'd do a little bit, we'd never do it now. I remember then I dove and I saw Mulloway, but I couldn't get a shot, come back up and said, hey, Mulloway there. You're next, and there is actually a common theme. You did stone it straight up.
Oh, we're on a run here, but stoned it, pulled it up.
Yeah.
Went to put it on the float and there was no doormat there anymore.
Yeah.
So I was like, Tim, it's been sharked. I'll just keep this on me.
Yeah.
Which was a good and bad thing.
Good and bad thing.
Looking at it now, obviously, yeah, we'll get to that part.
Obviously, if you clipped it off, that Mulloway was gone.
Yeah.
I dove, I got to the bottom, and I didn't see him when I first got there, so I waited for a bit on the bottom, saw the school come in. I was trying for a stone shot as well, obviously thinking about the spangled emperor that's just been eaten, but I did no stone shot, took off, and they obviously croak when you shoot, they're making lots of noise. I remember pushing off the bottom, and as I did, it was like a swish, turn, see a big whaler tailing off.
Always a good feeling.
Always a good feeling.
That water pressure move behind you.
Yeah, I head to the surface. I remember popping my head out of the water, right, shark, get down. And I put my head back in the water.
And I can't go down because I'm holding a Mulloway.
Holding a Mulloway.
I'm not about to swim into a Sharknado.
And it was a Sharknado. Put my head back down, big whaler, two big whalers and two bulls. One whaler's got a hold of it, shaking it. The second whaler was trying to fight over it, and my spear was through it, so it got stuck in its throat. I remember that whaler spitting it out and thinking, I've got this, start pulling, which made another whaler hit it coming up. And it was coming straight at. I remember just going back and back because I just saw teeth and a spear. I'm like, I'm either going to get stabbed by the back of my spear or hit by teeth.
I remember you just pulling it out of the shark's mouth. I'm like, well, that's a dumb move. And so these things are going nuts. And another one attacked it.
Yeah.
And it ended up, the spear stopped it from being swallowed, I think, from memory.
Yeah.
And you've waited for the opportune moment. You've pulled it out again and then decided to laugh at the sharks.
I think I was laughing because it was like coming up face first. I'm like, oh, I can't believe this is happening.
No, you've giggled like a schoolgirl. And then they're just all excited, and the next thing you know,
they're coming at me.
And I'm holding my fish like this out of the water because Tim's created the situation. And I'll look up, and next thing I know is just see Tim flying through the air.
I actually, out of the corner of my eye, saw that bull coming at my legs because I sort of laughed. They went nuts. The other ones broke the surface right in front of me, and I backed and just lifted my legs like he's gonna bite me, and he just lifted me out of the water. I remember rolling down his back, this big fin just like.
We're screaming for the boat.
Yeah, so obviously you're screaming, gee, gee, gee. Boat starts and he's trying to drive over anchored.
We get G's attention. He wakes up, pulls his head over the handrail, like half asleep, like hair all over his head, and he's trying to drive the boat with the anchor that's hooking up on all the reef that we've tried to hook up on.
And we jumped in. Sharks were at the back of the boat. I remember saying to you at that moment, like, Bri, why didn't you help me? Your response was like, you were nearly crying. You're like, I thought you were dead.
That's right.
Yeah. And then I was like, I think we're going somewhere else. And while we're talking, obviously sharks are circling the boat, and that's that mulloway you can see right there. And that's the story why it's got so many bites in it, because a whole bunch of sharks get it. If you're wondering how it managed to get to the boat, after I got lifted by the bull shark, I actually landed right next to the mulloway and went, let's get into the boat. let's Bri, go through a couple of other scenarios here, because we've said you've got to boss them. You said you've got to do that. But in that situation, there's no bossing going on. You're getting bossed because they are the apex predators at that moment. And that actually does happen a little bit. Some of these clips I want to look through, because these are the sort of things that can happen so quick and really you've got no control of. This one here, I was diving up north and
Oh, sweet.
yeah, and on the way down, I saw a nice tusky. Now, that pull of the trigger is always a shark bell, but this one's doubled up.
But you've got your finger on the reel line, thumb on the reel line as well, so it's squeaking.
Yeah. Now it's in a hole going.
And you've got a spear against a bit of plate coral that's just going tink, tink, tink.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I can remember my head when I'm doing this. I'm like, looking around going, I know what's going to happen when I pull my head out of this hole. There's going to be a bull shark right here. I can just feel it. Look up, boom. One flicks past my head. Second one follows me off the bottom. I give it a jab with the back of the spear. And the second one just follows me pretty much the whole way to the surface. That noise is such a thing.
It's just a dinner bell, really.
Yeah. Now,
It's everything.
this one's a funny one on the surface. My boatie tries to throw the fish back in on the water and not keep it in the boat. Quite a funny scenario, this one. Wait, did you get his gills? Yeah. Okay. Spear's not hitting great. Got him?
Yeah.
Put his finger on his bum hole.
Oh, man.
I'll come here with you.
I'm ready. Yep.
Strong before. Sorry, mate. Oh.
What was your mission?
I don't know what that video is going to look like, but gee whiz. If it captures half of what just happened, oh my gosh.
Got Crollo around.
Let's go to this next one. This is the dinner bell noise that we're talking about. I'm actually diving here locally in Brizzy, laying on the bottom, and I've got other people diving around me. As soon as I hit the bottom, this is the general gist. I look up, there's two whalers just swimming past me when I hit the bottom. And a Queensland groper is also just out in the distance there looking at me. Whalers are obviously interested.
Always there.
Used to Spearos, used to the click of the gun. This is incredible when you watch Hal actually shoot right beside me right now. Boom, gun goes off. There they come, flying past me straight away. Go crazy because they just hear the noise of the flick of the gun. I hit the surface and yell at Hal because I can see him chasing his fish up off the bottom. Horse it, get it up really quickly.
Horse it, horse it!
We don't leave fish down anymore.
Nah, they're too well accustomed to everything.
Yeah.
Boats,
Yeah.
spear guns,
First thing?
splashing.
Stone them if you can. Secondly, horse your fish, get them off the bottom. As soon as you shot, they knew what was going on, those sharks. They all swam flying past me straight at you. Now in this scenario, a bit later in the afternoon as well, probably not ideal, but I hit the bottom and a really nice fish, big tuskies. Like obviously we all love big tuskies.
Good bottom there.
Yeah, good bottom. You shot a couple of mulloway, one shot at this spot a few years earlier. I was actually diving with Tack and he said, I saw a big tusky. I dove down. Yeah, so you did. There it is right there. Now, there's extra noise. Gunshot. Fish in the bottom.
Reel, unmaintained rife reel goes squeak, squeak, squeak.
Unmaintained reel, making lots of noise. You said this to me before you even watched this. Oh, that's not a bad thing. That's a bad thing. And
yeah, look at the jewellery he's got in.
Yeah.
Hopefully it dies.
Where's he's on PC, this boy. It definitely has a big rope wrapped around its neck. I'll obviously get the fish to the surface, didn't lose it. Tack and I are laughing on the surface. It's quite funny.
Boy, shark, 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 shark. Oh my God. I just was sitting on the bottom there and I'm like, nah, that tusky's gone. I was about to kick off the bottom. Boy, just about to kick off the bottom, start swimming up, look over and the thing just swims straight up to me.
Yeah, that's what he did with me.
I'm like, what the freak is wrong with that thing? Shoot it, dong, 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 into the bottom, trying to keep it at the bottom. Start swimming up, look back down to make sure I was at the bottom, and there is a whaler with fishing line going around there, wrapped around, come back to here, like, that's my fin. It was like this, and just kept on coming at me. I've literally looked down like...
You could see that shark on the sounder.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Jess yells out, oh, there's lots of fish, there's a big arches on the sounder. I'm like, yeah, that's a shark.
What do we do? Change spots?
We need to move quick if we're going to do that. Is that archer still there? Oh. There's double arches there, and that looks like AJ's. Fish. Yeah, I reckon so.
Oi, underneath.
That's the bugger.
A couple of seconds later, it comes and joins us on the surface, like right here.
Look how sedate it is.
There's a big rope wrapped around it.
Slowly dying.
Good friendly, eh?
Friendly, eh? So friendly. Oh, he's not big, he's just long. No dog?
I know if Bryson was going to cut that rope off, he'd cut it like this, all the way around the neck.
Shank
its head falls off.
Shank it.
This is a very similar scenario here, diving locally, shooting a nice tusky on the bottom again. But I shoot a largemouth nannyguy, fish that we don't shoot a lot down here locally. And that noise again, boom, straight away. What's it, a largie?
Even the flick of the fish's tail there before you shoot it,
Yeah,
I reckon that's
definitely.
a little bit unnatural.
Yeah.
And that would alert the sharks.
And obviously the scrape into the bottom,
And then that's-
the gunshot, those things, and similar scenario. As I look, boom, he's almost got me on the leg.
There's a cod there too.
Yeah.
Would have flipped and created some kind of...
Noise. Noise is such a big part of this, hey. This one's, again, a very similar situation. I get to the bottom of the area, we've dove together a few times. I know when you're watching this, you're like, I haven't seen this spot for quite a few years. But as soon as I get to the bottom, I notice a couple of really nice mulloway there. Bryson's been away working and hasn't been back to find himself a mulloway yet. But I'm sure that's going to happen in...
Not this offswing.
Not this offswing, okay.
No, I haven't shot on this offswing.
Not yet, not yet. And the noise again, same deal, but this time it's my glove just making that squeak squeak. It's not the reel, it's my glove on the line. It's funny, for both of those sharks, when I was making the noise, you can see it here, bypass the fish completely.
Yep, exactly.
Straight at me.
Straight up to you.
And
That's just another inquisitive look.
Yeah.
As soon as you get that fish a distance off the bottom, it's going to stop kicking. It's like a stoned fish, basically, and then just pull it up.
Freaking shark. Just wanted me, didn't even look at the fish.
Now, this next one reminds me a lot of our encounter that we had. This is actually pretty much on the surface. It's actually New South Wales. We don't often shoot diamond trevally in New South Wales, but this pennant fish diamond trevally almost on the surface, short off on the surface is the spot you and I have dove together a bunch of different times.
Hoi, 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 dollies, dollies, dollies.
And quite funny, like obviously really fishy. As soon as I shoot it, there's a couple of amberjacks and in comes like free swimming dolphin fish, which super rare, super rare. But after the dolphin fish, you start to see the sharks turn up and they go from like 1, 2, that fella's got a bit of jewellery as well.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of fishing line hanging out of him. This moment, what's the issue here?
Well, they're coming up to you on the surface and then he's incessant, just not leaving you alone. I wonder why you didn't dive to the bottom after this.
Yeah. Like there was so many sharks, you weren't going to land a fish down. Like
Once they're up, they will go mid-water again, but they just come back faster the next time.
Yeah. And now this situation, I'm glad I'm using a reel gun. You know, people say, rig line. Rig line's a bit useless in this situation. At least you got some control with that reel gun to be able to push it away.
Even if you are using the back end of the gun,
yeah,
it's better than nothing.
Oh, what a prick!
Even the other boys, this wasn't you, this is other boys that really didn't do a great job of even getting in to help me at all. You have a look at some of these sharks and you see the bite marks on them around that breeding time.
Yeah,
and whenever you're seeing sharks like that, you know they're going to be feisty here in our local area. That may be different in other places, but that's a thing. Now, this last clip is probably something that we hate doing because I hate just quitting and going somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's just got to happen. Jump in, put a flasher down, and the flasher's down for 10 seconds, and a shark comes up and bites the bottom of your flasher off. You're pretty certain no matter what you shoot.
Yeah, it might be time for a new spot, I reckon, eh? Those sharks are bad.
Look at that one, covered in bite marks all over it. I think from memory this day, it was like I'd already lost a couple of fish to sharks, jump into a brand new spot, put it down, I'm like, next spot, sometimes you got to change spots.
Yeah.
We know this, driving slowly 500 metres, you may as well like pick them up in your boat and give them a hitchhike. Yeah. Because they're going to follow your boat. If you're going to change spots, like I know you and I have both experienced this often. What's your thoughts on how you change spots? Fast, very fast, and a surprisingly long distance. Yeah. I remember we were diving a comp together a bunch of years ago in the Coolwool Cup, and we moved like about 2 Ks and there was a shark there with a long mouth. We moved 2 Ks, jumped back in, the thing was there as soon as we got in the water. It was just obviously the same shark. So moving quickly, moving long distance if you can. I think probably another highlight, driving slowly to a line fisherman and then bolt. So they keep the shark there with them. That's a bonus.
That's
so all your linos. That's
a good method.
Yeah.
The only negative side of that is the linos think you're stealing their spot. But you're like, mate, I've got 50,
mate, I've just given you the sharks.
I've got 50 marks around your spot here.
They're just trying to offload some sharks so I can shoot a fish, mate. Drive up beside Greg, lamper check, really slowly, do a little loop around and out of there, Greg, we love you. Sometimes you just got to move. Like sometimes the shark situation, and I want to encourage people, your safety is first. Your life matters more than a fish.
All you got to do is just put your hand on their nose and just redirect them away and then put it on Instagram. That's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing. Then the sharks will respect you as the apex predator. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah. A couple of the situations we've had, it would be like, yeah, I just put my hand on its nose and redirected. Can't wait for it to go wrong one day. Oh, well, that's not... Again, let me just say, sharks are wild animals. And listen, we've given you some tips and tools to think through in this, and hopefully some of those are going to work for you. But your safety matters. And know this, they are wild animals. They're unpredictable sometimes, and you just got to expect that that's going to be the case. Bryson, thanks for joining me. You're a wild animal, Tim. A wild animal. Can be when I'm in the water shooting some fish. Appreciate you being here, mate. Appreciate being a part of this one. And hopefully you learn a little bit about this online as well. Hopefully watching this, it's helped you to get a little grasp of shark behavior. Hopefully it hasn't made you scared. Hopefully it's helped you get over some of those fears. Thanks, Bri. Thank you all. Make sure you like, subscribe, keep following us, keep sharing this. We'd love you to share these videos so that other people can watch and be a part of it as well. Thank you.